Another mystery buried deep in the hills of eastern Washington keeps resurfacing. A bottomless pit said to be a pathway to the paranormal. KOMO4's Denise Whitaker heads east in search of the hole.
A drone just entered Mel's hole, and what it found will haunt you forever. Deep in the lonely hills of Washington, this bottomless pit swallows everything. Junk, animals, even human voices, never to return. But when researchers sent a camera into its endless blackness, they discovered something beyond terrifying. Tune in to what happened next when the military arrived, sealed off the land, and silenced Mel forever. But the hole is still there, waiting, the hole that swallows everything. The man behind its name, Mel Waters, stumbled upon this bizarre chasm when he moved onto the property. At first, it seemed like an ordinary well, except it never filled with water, no matter how deep he went. Curious, he and his neighbors started using it as a junk drop. Old tires, broken furniture, dead batteries. None of it ever piled up. It was like the earth just ate whatever they tossed in. But when they lowered something living, what came back defied reality. Then things got weirder. Animals, especially dogs, wouldn't go near it. They'd whimper and back away, tails tucked between their legs, even when their owners tried to drag them close. Radios near the hole fizzled with static, sometimes catching whispers of strange voices or music from decades past. One day, Mel decided to test its depth. He rigged up a fishing line with a weight and started lowering it down. 100 feet, 1,000, a mile, then 2, then 10. The line just kept going. No bottom, no resistance. Just an endless, hungry void beneath him. He swapped out the weight for a pack of Lifesavers candy, thinking if there was water down there, they'd dissolve. But when he reeled them back up, dry as dust, the hole wasn't just deep, it was wrong. Neighbors started sharing creepy tales, like the man who tossed his dead dog in, only to see it alive and well a few days later, trotting through town with no recognition in its eyes. Even birds avoided the airspace above it, veering off at the last second as if the hole radiated some kind of unseen force. People began whispering that it wasn't a hole at all, but a doorway, a tear in the world, leading to somewhere else. Maybe another dimension, maybe a different time, or something even more terrifying. In 2017, a group of researchers lowered a high-tech camera down the shaft, hoping to finally get a glimpse of what lay beneath. They expected rock, maybe water, possibly some long-forgotten cavern. Instead, the footage they retrieved was a mess of static, dark shapes, and glimpses of something that made their stomachs turn. They packed up and left without answers. Mel, feeling overwhelmed by the mystery, took his story to the radio. On a show dedicated to the unexplained, he spilled everything he knew, hoping for insights. But instead of curious scientists or paranormal enthusiasts showing up, the government did. The morning after his broadcast, men in uniforms surrounded his property. Trucks, helicopters, guns. They told him there had been a plane crash, but there was no crash, no wreckage, just a bunch of serious-looking people who wanted him gone. They wouldn't let him near the hole, wouldn't let him back on his own land. Once the military stepped in, the theories exploded. Some believed the hole was a natural portal, a rip in reality itself. Others thought it was a dumping ground for secret government projects, maybe even an alien landfill. There were rumors that scientists working for the military had been lowering equipment down and pulling up things that shouldn't exist. Bones of creatures never seen before, metals that bent time, things with no explanation. One of the strangest stories involved a black beam of light. Unlike normal light, which brightens the space around it, this beam made everything darker. It was like the hole was breathing shadows into the sky. Then there were whispers about ley lines, ancient energy pathways running across the earth. If Mel's hole was connected to one, it could be a focal point of power, maybe even an entrance to the underworld itself. Mel was warned not to talk. He disappeared from public life, leaving behind nothing but the legend of his impossible pit. Officially, no such hole exists. The land where it once sat is now heavily guarded, fenced off, and watched. But those who live nearby still hear strange noises at night, low hums, almost like chanting, echoing up from the depths. Some claim to have seen figures standing near the hole's location, staring down into the darkness, waiting. Mel's Hole remains a mystery, one that no one is allowed to investigate anymore. And maybe that's for the best, because if the stories are even half true, some doors aren't meant to be opened.
New Jersey's unseen aerial threats. Friday night, McGuire Air Force Base was out of commission for 4 hours. Why? Tiny, unidentified drones were spotted buzzing near the base. Med-flight pilots were warned about heavy unmanned aircraft systems. Oh, and let's not forget the red circular objects zipping around, clearly not your average flying toys. Weird doesn't even begin to cover it. But then it vanished at impossible speed, leaving only questions behind. It's not just the objects themselves, it's how they behave. Some look like they're firing projectiles. Others seem to release thick trails of mist or chemicals that just hang in the air. One even appeared to go vertical like it had no regard for gravity. Theories are everywhere. Chemtrails, secret government tests, extraterrestrial visitors. Pick your poison. Meanwhile, back on the ground, millions of birds are fleeing New Jersey like it's a disaster movie. What's spooking them? Could it be the same phenomenon causing these mysterious aerial antics? It's hard to say, but when birds are acting like the apocalypse is coming, it's probably worth paying attention.
Strange bird behavior happening in New Jersey right now.
And then there's the nuclear angle. A report from earlier this month mentions a radioactive source lost in transit. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe these drones, or whatever they are sniffing out radiation. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds when you consider military tech that can refuel mid-flight. Why wouldn't they have drones capable of recharging or detecting hazardous materials? But let's circle back to those red orbs. They've been spotted darting out to the ocean and back at blinding speeds. Could they be some kind of charging station for the smaller white orbs? Theories abound, but hard evidence is scarce. Whatever they are, they're clearly not following FAA regulations. The White House and FBI are playing it cool, offering vague reassurances that everything is under control. But if it's so under control, why are air bases shutting down? And why are there no clear answers? It's like they're dangling just enough information to keep us guessing without actually explaining anything. And then there's the timing. All of this started ramping up after that radioactive material went missing. Coincidence? Maybe not. If these objects are scanning for something, it could explain their erratic behavior and the sheer number of sightings. But why not just tell us? The silence is almost as suspicious as the phenomena themselves.
Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should.
As the footage keeps rolling in, one thing's clear. We're dealing with something unprecedented. Whether it's experimental tech, a global phenomenon, or something out of this world, the truth is still up there. And until we get answers, the speculation game is wide open. Keep your eyes on the skies and your cameras ready. Whatever this is, it's not over yet. Adding layers of complexity to the mystery, the number of reported sightings grows every day. Witnesses claim these objects exhibit capabilities far beyond our understanding. Sudden bursts of acceleration, seemingly impossible turns, and the ability to vanish into thin air make them a challenge to track even for experts. Some reports detail luminous trails left behind, trails that seem to dissipate as quickly as they appear, almost as if these objects are playing with the very fabric of reality. Another fascinating aspect is their interaction with our environment. From causing electrical disruptions to seemingly spooking wildlife, these phenomena aren't just a spectacle for the eyes. Entire neighborhoods have reported brief power outages coinciding with sightings, and car alarms blare in unison as these orbs float overhead. It's as if they're probing the world below, testing reactions or perhaps collecting data. Then there's the undeniable global connection. In addition to the United States, countries like Brazil and Mexico are seeing similar occurrences. Video evidence shows eerie similarities, objects performing identical maneuvers and emitting the same peculiar lights. Is this a coordinated effort, a shared technology, or something even stranger? Let's also address the patterns emerging and where these objects are spotted. They're frequently reported near military installations, nuclear facilities, and major metropolitan areas. Coincidence, or a deliberate focus on places of strategic importance? If these are reconnaissance missions, the implications are chilling. Advanced aerial surveillance on this scale could indicate an intelligence far beyond what we've ever encountered. A critical question remains: why now? What has triggered this surge in sightings and activity? Some speculate it's a response to increased global tensions, a warning or observation from forces unknown. Others point to advancements in personal technology. Maybe we're just better equipped to document what's always been there. Either way, the timing feels too significant to ignore. Skeptics argue that much of this can be chalked up to misidentified aircraft, drones, or even elaborate hoaxes. But when you've got seasoned pilots and radar operators scratching their heads, the usual explanations fall short. These aren't random hobbyists with cheap toys. We're talking about objects that defy conventional physics and evade detection in the most secure airspaces.
Identified aerial vehicles then move in perfect formation, their purpose unknown.
One of the most compelling elements of this saga is how it challenges our understanding of reality. If these objects are indeed extraterrestrial or interdimensional, they force us to reconsider our place in the universe. Are we truly alone? Or are we part of a much larger interconnected cosmic web? As speculation intensifies, the call for transparency grows louder. Citizens, scientists, and even lawmakers are demanding answers. Recent disclosures about UFOs from military sources have only fueled the fire. If governments know more than they're letting on, withholding that information serves no one. People want clarity, not cryptic statements or dismissive reassurances. Until then, the mystery deepens. Every new sighting adds another layer of intrigue, another piece to a puzzle that seems almost unsolvable. What's happening above our heads is extraordinary, unnerving, and utterly captivating. Keep looking up. The sky might just hold the answers we've been searching for. What's falling to the ground is as strange as what's in the air. Burn marks, silent flights, and shaken witnesses. Let's not overlook the increasing physical evidence emerging alongside witness accounts. Burn marks on the ground, unusual soil samples, and even electromagnetic anomalies have been documented in areas where these objects were reportedly seen. Researchers are scrambling to analyze these clues, but the findings remain inconclusive. It's as though the phenomena leave just enough evidence to spark curiosity, but not enough to draw concrete conclusions. The media has also been playing a role in shaping public perception. Some outlets approach the topic with skepticism, often dismissing reports as hysteria or hoaxes. Others, however, are beginning to take it more seriously, featuring in-depth analyses and interviews with credible witnesses. This shift in narrative suggests that even the most skeptical are starting to acknowledge that something is happening, even if they can't explain what it is. Social media, too, has become a battleground for theories and evidence. Videos, photos, and first-hand accounts are being shared at an unprecedented rate, creating a virtual repository of information that anyone can access. While this democratization of information is exciting, it also comes with challenges. Misinformation and doctored footage muddy the waters, making it harder to separate fact from fiction. Yet the sheer volume of content being uploaded daily makes it impossible to ignore the phenomenon.
Went up real fast. A plane? I can't tell, but it is. Whoa, is that moving quick?
In addition to sightings and physical evidence, there are reports of auditory phenomena accompanying these objects. Witnesses describe hearing low-frequency hums, sudden booms, or even eerie silence as the objects pass overhead. These auditory cues add another layer of complexity, hinting at technologies that manipulate sound or interact with the environment in ways we don't yet understand. And then there's the psychological impact. People who've had close encounters often report feelings of awe, confusion, or even fear. Some describe a sense of being watched or studied, while others claim to have experienced temporary memory lapses or disorientation. These accounts suggest that whatever is happening isn't just a visual phenomenon, it's affecting people on a deeply personal level. With every new detail, the story becomes more intricate, more compelling, and more urgent. Whether these phenomena represent a threat, an opportunity, or simply a mystery to be solved, one thing is certain: we're on the cusp of a new era of understanding. The question is, are we ready for what we might discover? The skies over New Jersey have taken on a whole new level of weirdness lately. Imagine this: People all over the state are spotting drones that seem to break every rule in the book. Giant, silent, impossibly fast, and pulling stunts that would make a fighter jet jealous. These aren't your run-of-the-mill backyard drones. Nope, these things are turning heads and freaking out just about everyone who sees them. It started small, just a few sightings in quiet neighborhoods and sleepy towns. But before long, the reports exploded. People claimed they saw drones the size of SUVs, lit up with steady lights that didn't blink. And get this, they didn't make a sound. They'd hover like they were sizing up the scene, then shoot off at speeds no normal drone could handle. And those moves? Sharp turns, sudden stops, even disappearing into thin air. These weren't tricks you'd learn from a YouTube tutorial. Then came the tech glitches. Picture this. Your compass spinning like it's had one too many, your GPS throwing a tantrum, and your phone deciding it's time for a nap. Hikers in the Pine Barrens were especially rattled. They were used to relying on their gear to guide them through the woods, but suddenly it was like someone hit the off switch. Some even reported feeling dizzy or disoriented, like their own bodies were short-circuiting. Whatever these drones were, they weren't just playing nice with the local tech. Naturally, people turned to the authorities for answers. Big mistake. The responses were all over the place. Homeland Security waved it off, saying there was no threat. The FAA claimed there were no unauthorized flights, and the FBI? They might as well have shrugged and said probably stars or airplanes, because a star just zooms around your neighborhood and then vanishes, right?
Not a plane. That is a drone in the airspace.
The explanations didn't cut it, and the number of reports kept climbing. Things got even sketchier when people realized where these drones were showing up. Some were spotted near places like Picatinny Arsenal, a military research hub, and the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. What's the deal with that? Were these drones spying on something important, or were they being tested by some shadowy group? Either way, it's not exactly comforting. And then there were the other weird side effects. In one neighborhood, the power went out just as 3 drones flew overhead. In another, car alarms all went haywire while glowing orbs floated nearby. It's like these things were messing with everything around them, not just the magnetic fields. People started connecting the dots, but the picture wasn't getting any clearer, just creepier. The governor eventually called for federal help, and one state senator even suggested banning all drone activity until things got sorted out. But let's be real, nobody's coming out with a straight answer anytime soon. Was this some kind of futuristic weapon, aliens on a recon mission, or maybe the most elaborate hoax in New Jersey history? Whatever it was, it had people spooked. While officials tried to play catch-up, the internet did what it does best, go full-on conspiracy mode. Videos of the drones went viral, with amateur sleuths analyzing every pixel. Theories ranged from interdimensional travelers to secret government projects. Some said the drones were slipping between realities. Others claimed they were testing next-level surveillance tech. And of course, there was the classic "It's Aliens" crowd, convinced these were extraterrestrial visitors with mysterious agendas. What made it harder to brush off were the similar reports popping up worldwide. Places like Brazil and Mexico started sharing footage of drones pulling the same stunts.
I can't help but it has. What was that moving quick?
It wasn't just a New Jersey thing anymore. This was going global. The idea that this was all random? Forget it. There was clearly something bigger going on. Back in New Jersey, some hard evidence started surfacing. After one dramatic sighting, locals found a field with strange burn marks in soil that seemed to have magnetic properties. Scientists who checked it out were stumped. Was it natural? Man-made? Nobody could say for sure. And then there were the engineers who tracked electromagnetic spikes in the area. Their findings lined up perfectly with the drone sightings, but beyond that, they were as clueless as everyone else. Let's not forget the psychological toll this was taking. People who saw the drones weren't just shaken up, some felt like they were being watched, really watched. A few even claimed they had vivid dreams afterward, full of strange symbols and voices speaking in gibberish. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but for these folks, it was all too real. The lights above New Jersey keep getting stranger. The lights above Jersey. This isn't going away anytime soon. Whether it's cutting-edge tech, aliens, or something we haven't even thought of yet, New Jersey is smack in the middle of it. The truth might be out there, but for now, it's hiding behind those strange lights in the sky. And until someone figures it out, we'll all be left wondering what's next. The number of sightings continued to increase, and every new report added more bizarre details to the growing mystery. People began documenting the encounters with high-definition cameras and thermal imaging equipment. These weren't just grainy videos shot on outdated phones, these were clear, undeniable visuals of something truly out of the ordinary. The drones moved in synchronized patterns that suggested an intelligence behind their operations, and their appearance often coincided with sudden temperature drops, even on warm summer nights. The chills in the air weren't just physical, they seeped into the mood of anyone witnessing these events. Some residents began setting up nightly watch groups, turning their backyards into makeshift observation stations. Armed with telescopes, binoculars, and even radar apps, they became amateur investigators determined to crack the case. These groups shared their findings online, building a network of people just as obsessed with solving the mystery. One group claimed to have tracked a drone for over 15 miles, only to lose it when it vanished without a trace. Another group, stationed near the coast, reported that the drones sometimes emerged from the ocean itself, defying gravity as they ascended into the sky. Reports of physical traces left behind by these drones also started circulating. A farmer in South Jersey woke up to find his cornfield flattened in a perfectly symmetrical pattern with no signs of human or mechanical intervention.
They're coming really fast too. They're either running.
The soil underneath was scorched, emitting a faint metallic smell that lingered for days. Scientists who examined the area were baffled, unable to determine the source of the heat or the cause of the damage. Theories ranged from advanced propulsion systems to energy weapons, but nothing could be confirmed. Whatever was happening, it was clear that these drones weren't just passive observers. Local artists and writers began drawing inspiration from the phenomenon, creating works that captured the eerie, otherworldly nature of the events. Murals of glowing drones against dark skies began popping up in urban areas, while poets wrote about the uneasy feeling of being watched. The drones had become a part of New Jersey's cultural fabric, blending fear and fascination into something almost surreal. Despite the growing evidence and public outcry, official responses remained frustratingly vague. When pressed for answers during a town hall meeting, one local official stammered through a generic statement about safety and ongoing investigations. It was clear that whatever they knew, if they knew anything at all, they weren't sharing it with the public. This only fueled the belief that something significant was being hidden, whether for national security reasons or something far more ominous. Speculation about the origins of the drones continued to spiral. Some suggested that the drones were operated by private corporations conducting secret experiments. The proximity of certain sightings to tech hubs and research facilities lent some weight to this theory. Others were convinced that the drones were extraterrestrial in nature, a belief supported by the lack of identifiable technology or propulsion systems. A smaller but equally vocal group argued that the phenomenon was a psychological operation designed to manipulate public perception. According to this theory, the drones weren't real at all, but a high-tech illusion orchestrated to distract from more pressing issues. As time went on, the mystery only deepened. Efforts to track the drones using radar and satellite imagery often came up empty, as though the objects were deliberately evading detection. Attempts to intercept them with other drones or aircraft proved futile, with the mysterious devices outmaneuvering their pursuers every time. Even the military seemed unable or unwilling to engage with the phenomenon, leaving citizens to fend for themselves in their search for answers. One particularly chilling incident occurred during a high school football game in central Jersey. Midway through the game, 3 drones appeared overhead, their lights casting an eerie glow over the field. Players and spectators alike froze, their eyes fixed on the sky. The drones hovered silently for several minutes before performing a series of rapid, intricate maneuvers and disappearing into the night. The event left everyone shaken, and the game was called off as people rushed home to process what they had just witnessed. The phenomenon had drawn the attention of national media, with news outlets running headlines about New Jersey's mystery drones and the growing wave of paranoia surrounding them. Documentaries and podcasts devoted to the subject sprang up almost overnight, featuring interviews with witnesses, experts, and conspiracy theorists. The story had become a full-blown cultural phenomenon, capturing the imaginations of people far beyond the state's borders. What do you think these mysterious objects really are? Advanced military experiments, extraterrestrial visitors, or something beyond comprehension? Let us know what you think below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries.